Okay, we're recording. I just got home from work, so I wanted to uh just get this out of the way. Because I really wanted to talk about Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian 2.5, whatever you want to call it. It's, it's right now I'm just using my streaming setup. Um, I might set up a thing where strictly for YouTube videos if I get back into this. um, which I just might if this gets a good response and it if people want to talk about I love nerding out about Star Wars, so the more that people want to talk about this, the better. So just bear with me on the how there's no music in the background for the sake of like copyright music and stuff. I didn't want to mess with anything too much. I just wanted this to be bare bones, straight shooting to the point. So anyway, all right. I finally I watched episode 6 of Book of Boba Fett, and I wanted to primarily talk about the last two episodes because the Mandalorian is a big part of them. It's pretty much just like and I think what they're kind of doing is the same like when the Mandalorian was streaming when it first came out. Boba kind of took the stage, in those last few episodes, and it was really exciting and it was really awesome. And I think the script flipped with this quite literally in the sense because now Din Djarin is the center of attention in Book of Boba, and it's I kind of think they're really complementing each other, and I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring more Mandalorians into the picture eventually because the Mandalorian is they got another season coming up. We got Ahsoka's show, we got Bo-Katan I think is getting her own spinoff as well. There's a lot of content that's coming up, and I think what Book of Boba is doing is it's setting up the pins of like everything that's going to happen, and then there's just going to be this uh huge thing happens where everything just converges into this big awesome event, which we'll see what that's going to be. But I feel like the first few episodes, I should say, were kind of just them building up. We I think they were great. A lot of people said that they were boring, and I thought they were great. I think we finally get to see what happened with Boba, like after Return of the Jedi, and I like the callback scenes to him, training with the Tusken Raiders, and kind of them kind of taking him in, and pretty much and them training him how to defend themselves against the Pikes was really cool. It's really interesting seeing how all the gaps are being filled, all these questions that were left unanswered, like how did he survive the Sarlacc pit? What happened exactly? And you got to remember that he was in there for 5 years, and the Sarlacc pits, they say like you're digested by this monster in the sand for thousands of years or 1,000 years, however long it was. Like it's and so him getting out of that, he was out of it, and I thought about when he was looking for his armor back in the Sarlacc pit. He was dazed. He was like, the Jawas were taking the armor off him, and he didn't know which way was up. So it kind of makes sense that he didn't recall, like, oh wait, that's right. These Jawas scrapped it off me and left me for dead, pretty much. So I think it's cool that like because of that, and because he's kind of getting back on his feet and kind of shaking the cobwebs off, that he has to sit in a bacta tank every day, and he is healing, and and it shows that as badass of a character as Boba is, he still has weaknesses. He's not indestructible, and I love that they're kind of showing that aspect of it. And the same thing with Din Djarin when he's fighting that gang and the bounty for the bounty in episode 5. And he's getting his ass kicked, but at the same time he's also kicking ass, and he's dishing out what he can take, and he can take what he dishes out, and that's what makes him such a strong warrior. um I really love that they're kind of showing that these characters aren't indestructible. And and oh my god, when he took out that dark saber, whoo, shit, that was fucking awesome. And it's so cool just seeing all this stuff for, because I loved the Clone Wars, the animated series, both the 2003 one and like the CGI animated one that eventually came thereafter. It There's so much homage uh, to pay homage to all of like what happened during the Clone Wars, and even during the original trilogy. There's a couple things that are kind of like a nod to that, uh, and even nod to other franchises that were probably heavily inspired by Star Wars, like that big scene where they show where the TIE bombers are just bombing Mandalore, and they got like the K series droids in like Terminator style with the Viper droids and everything, and it that was badass. But it was really cool to see in live action that event that happened in Mandalore, and as well as in this sixth episode, we get another brief glimpse of, through Grogu's eyes, what happened during Order 66. So that was really interesting, and I love that they're doing that. And then we had like what else, that like that Halo ring thing. It kind of, there's some things that they're adding to the show where it has like a cyberpunk feel, and I love, I grew up watching a lot of 80s movies, and like I loved things like Blade Runner and movies like that. I love that cyberpunk feel, and it's kind of cool that they're adding it to that. And a lot of people are kind of standoffish with the what they're calling the mods. Those group of the younger actors who are very like kind of Disney-esque, but they're all like modded out and everything. But in the Star Wars universe, like, people lose limbs, people want to enhance themselves, whether it's like with a bionic leg or arm or torso, like in the case of Fennec Shand. People want to have better sight. Like, look at, when you play Star Wars: The Old Republic, you can play a cyborg. There's different things that you can modify in your body. Like, Lobot had the memory bank attached to his freaking head. um there's a lot of people think it's weird. Yeah, it was kind of cheesy, but like, that's Disney writing. Like, that's a lot of things. It's Disney, so there's gonna be some things that are like kind of eh. Like the multicolor Power Ranger moped thing. Like, just give them speeders. Don't put them on these like rascals you get at the mall. Like, oh my god, and that chase scene was so slow. Speaking of which, I wanted to bring something up. There's one fuck up that they did, which was really funny. That I actually brought up. I queued it up on here, but like, there's this one scene where one of the mods on the moped speeder type thing is like kind of creeping around a corner, and you see the interior of the set. A novice mistake. I think that was during episode 3, but it's a fuck up that unfortunately happened. And it's these things happen. It's a slight thing that you really I didn't notice it when I first saw it, to be honest. Which is probably, it's the same thing with the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones, and like the water bottle like that they had in there too. Little things are gonna happen like that, and it's a shame that, like, they spend millions of dollars on these episodes just for these like little slip ups. But it's kind of funny too. It's just like something to. It's one of those little Easter eggs you look for. You're always, and that's the thing. You can't. Nothing gets past Star Wars fans. So, uh, kudos to those who spotted that out, and lack of kudos to uh whoever missed that in editing. But anyway, yeah, the cybernetic enhanced moped gang is, at this point, Boba's taken as much muscle as he can get. He's taking on, the Pike Syndicate. He took on the Huts. He's got a lot uh riding right now, and I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to see him bond a little bit more with the Rancor. I hope we get to see some more of that. Because we have one more episode left. There's going to be a lot to cover, so I hope, and it seems like the episodes are getting a little longer, and I hope that they make this next this final, the season one finale, like at least an hour long. So we'll see how that goes. Um, the part where Din Djarin is kind of exiled from the covert because he said he took off his helmet. Um, I think he's probably going to reunite with Bo-Katan, and he's going to bring them into the fight with Boba against the Pike Syndicate. Um, and I that's my take on that. I think he's gonna probably no. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna fight Bo-Katan for the dark saber. I think that's probably going to be something more towards like when the season 3 for Mandalorian. Um, but I think Bo-Katan is going to show up, and I think that Grogu is going to want to reunite with Din Djarin as well. And when Luke is going to come back to bring him on Tatooine, I think it's going to be like a bittersweet type thing for Luke, which, by the way, the CGI in this one is so much better than what they did in Mandalorian. 10 times better. I was watching, I'm like, did they just like get a really good actor, like someone who looks just like a young Mark Hamill, or is that deep fake? And I think it's a deep, actually I don't even think, I know it's a deep fake, but it looks good. He sounds great. I think they did a fantastic job with it. It's not perfect, but it's worlds better than what they did in Mandalorian. I love that we got to see Ahsoka again. I love that one line when she said, "You're a lot like your father." Like, oh man. Oh, and it's that whole this whole episode 6 was so good, and the Nubian N1 fighter, so cool. I love how they made it like, a classic like hot rod type look. Um, and the X-wing fighter pilot who was like he didn't like pull him over before, but that like he's like, oh, you know how fast we're going? He's like, oh, sorry, officer, I didn't realize, I was just taking it out for a test drive. I love the new ship that he's got. The Razor Crest was awesome, but it's a shame you couldn't get a new one. I really am curious to see if that little cockpit edition, where rather than the astromech slot, they have like another like little spot where you can maybe transport a prisoner, or maybe it's a little seat for Grogu. We'll see. Maybe that's where you can like keep his extra guns or something. Or like clothes. I don't know. It's like a small like little one-seater starfighter. As 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 soon as I saw that, I was like, no fucking way. But it's cool that they're kind of making these little nods to the prequels, and but the one thing where I was like freaking out. All right, so I read the Aftermath books, and seeing Cod Vanth in live action is really cool. Um, and but it you see that figure walking in the distance, and he kind of gets that like Tell everybody to go inside. And they're like, something wrong? He's like, I don't know yet. And then like and once he started getting closer, I was like, no fucking way! Like, and fucking Cad fucking Bane. He looks so good. They did such a fucking good job. And I was watching the episode with my dad. I'm freaking. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, no fucking way. He's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "That's fucking Cad Bane." He's like, "Oh, he never watched Clone Wars. He watched the original movies and then that's it. He didn't read the books. He didn't read like watch the extra stuff. So like he was like, "Who the hell is this?" But I would, oh, dude, so fucking cool. And I'm wondering like what's gonna happen in the next episode. They're gonna have this big face off. Like the Pike Syndicate hired Cad Bane to go to what's now called Freetown to go kind of like get them in line, and he was gonna try to pay them off. So like, are the people of Freetown gonna like join up with Boba too? Are other Mandalorians gonna follow Din to team up with Boba against the Pikes? There's a lot of stuff that's gonna like it's a lot is up in the air, and I want to nerd out about it more, but I feel like I'm rambling. This is already like it's almost a 17-minute video now. Um, I feel like with the setup that I have right now, like I said, I'm using the setup I used to stream. I want to maybe do something different for YouTube videos, but I want to nerd out more about Star Wars stuff because this is my life. This is my fucking, I fucking have Darth Maul and Darth Mar on my arms. Like, it's, I love this shit. Oh yeah, this is probably one of my favorite shirts too. Fucking Disney Castle in ruins. Um, because Disney fucked up the sequel trilogy for me. But that's maybe a video for another time. But I love where this is going. I feel like they're just setting up a lot for more shows to come, and I really like where this is going. I think it's going in the right direction. Um, Din Djarin is great. Maybe he'll even recruit knock on wood, Cara Dune. We'll see. From what I I heard, or from what I looked up, I heard she's reprising the role. I hope that's the case. She's a great actress. I love the character. Um, and I use her a lot in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes because she's really good in that game. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about more Star Wars Old Republic stuff, but that's again for another time. So, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it's so low budget. I just kind of picked a part of my stream stuff and pressed record. I want to do more editing and maybe like some background music like I used to with other previous videos that I've done before. I've done reaction and review stuff for Star Wars, and I kind of want to get back into it. And cause I freaking watched that what is it episode 6 today, and I fucking cried a little bit just because it was so good. Luke looks so good. They did such a good job. Anyway, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, like let's nerd out because I want to talk about this stuff more. I have Discord. All my social media is Steve versus I, which is this name up here. And I want to talk more about Star Wars. I want to get more into the everything. Anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry, I just got off work. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop recording. I love you guys. Be excellent to each other, and may the force be with you. Okay, bye.